change the way I think, to change the way I feel, for me to go beyond what everybody thinks, what everybody says is real. Today I take a step into a time and space of peace and possibility, and here I'm gonna stay until I find my place, my true divinity. Higher consciousness, let's go higher, higher in our consciousness. Let's go higher, higher consciousness. Let's go higher, come on, in our consciousness. Let's go higher. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with just one step and one idea. I'm moving on, not knowing what is coming next. I'm getting close, I'm getting near to a part of me that touches everything, uniting all reality. I'm the middle between what earth and heaven brings. I am the I am the we. Yeah. Higher consciousness. Let's go higher, higher in our consciousness. Ooh, yeah. Let's go higher, higher consciousness.
All right. We're on our way. We're on our way. On our way to higher consciousness. Tap. Peace and blessings, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Welcome back to our KGM family. Yes, and if you're joining us on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, we want to welcome you. Let us know if you're new, if this is your first time, and let us know where you're joining us from. This is the place to be. This is KGM, Kamitic Guided Meditation. Going on, we almost completing our first year here. All right, peace. Sister Ona from Atlanta is with us. Greetings, Rita. Where are you from? And Leslie. Okay, Dr. Brown is with us. We can get started, you know. Yes, higher consciousness. Happy Sebek cycle, everybody. So let's see, we have Aretha. Welcome, Aretha. From PA. Kesong T. Joanne Knight from Virginia. Theta Clay. We got Augusta, Georgia. Sister Hotep, welcome. Who else is with us here? Okay, Sawanir. That's Hawaii, isn't it? Yes. We got Hawaii in the house. All right. Milo. Tatiana, peace. Osea Heru, powerful names. Ucha Machair's in the house. That's right. We got the Kamitic family with us here. Brother Frank, peace and blessings. From the DMV, I believe. We have Lorraine, welcome. All right, Jersey's in the house. David Diamond, Isan, peace and blessings. Okay, YouTube checking in. We got Woke personified, that's right. And Ma'ati Ra. Peaceful calm on our YouTube channel. Peace and blessings to you. Welcome. Let us know. We have any first timers with us. Saeb is in the house. We got Belize. Of course, we're international. The truth is everywhere. We have Masamon Kali. Peace and blessings. And then we got the Divine Lord Sekem on our YouTube channel. A tap to you. And Netchert Est. What's that? Saket Nair. All right. It's been too long. I didn't get to that West Coast yet. I'm coming. Got to get there. I heard y'all are having a serious heat wave. Mom and Ra. Okay, he's got his questions ready already. That's great. We're gonna have some Q&A time with our master teacher, Ra Unnefer. Amen. Like to know if any of you are meeting him for the first time. We have Buffalo in the house. Okay. Brother David from Dallas, Texas. We crossed the border into Canada. Lena Catherine up there in Canada on YouTube. Welcome. Okay, we got a first timer, y'all. Put some claps, put some fire in the chat. We have Sharon Willis with us, Fort Mitchell, Alabama. Okay, on YouTube. Phoenix, Arizona is with us. This is awesome. Toronto, we got Toronto in the house. And Frank from Owens Mills. Oh yeah, Frankie in Owens Mills, Maryland. Los Angeles in the house. That's my Ermal. Our Capoeira brother, Go Yo. We got Southern Cali by way of Brooklyn. Safiwe from Guinea-Bissau. I think he's got the record. I think you got the record, brother Safiwe. Yes. And we have Berthelay on YouTube. Mo in Chicago's on YouTube. Great. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification button and leave a comment on our YouTube channel. We want to spread this great wisdom. And more than ever, we need the power of the spirit, don't we? We need meditation. We need to tap that inner peace. Okay, Philly in the house. I see you, Akele. And we have the Bahamas. All right, Karan in the Bahamas. Jacqueline, peace. St. Lucia's in the house. Right on. Charlotte, North Carolina. What's going on, Anensa Ankh? Good to see you in the place. Milwaukee's in the house. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Montreal. Are we on the French side? Okay. Up there in Canada, we got info specialists. Okay, wait, we got info specialists. This is the right cycle. This must be your first time. We're going to have a great time tonight. Such an important part of the spirit. And, we want to always give thanks and recognition to our master teacher that I'm about to bring to the stage in a moment, Unnefer, Amen, who he set the calendar right. He helped us to understand that time is not a straight line, that time is a cycle, and that these cycles are governed by different aspects of our spirit and of nature, of the netters, right? That govern what happens. And I just want to get, yesterday was a new moon, and we say, oh, it's Sebek cycle. So I'm driving to the office yesterday morning, and guess what I see? I see a three-legged dog. That's right. You ever seen a three-legged dog? A three-legged dog. So in the vernacular of the Osirians, people that have been around this way of life, we say you just can't make it up. Here we are, Wednesday morning, new moon, Sebek cycle, three-legged dog. Happened to be not quite saffron, but kind of tan. I know you're laughing with me. Some of y'all laughing with me. You know what I'm talking about. So we give thanks that we know what time it is. And more important than that, we understand that time is carrying an energy, and that if we can harmonize ourselves with that energy. I remember one of my great mentors in business said, and he probably didn't make it up, he said, it's not the direction of the wind, it's how you set the sail. How you set the sail. So we have this predominance of a particular energy in the lunar cycle. There are other cycles as well, but this important lunar cycle, and we have a master teacher to show us how do we set the sail so that we can capture this energy and we can be propelled forward in our life endeavors. And of course, our most important life endeavor is that your most important project, right? Which is working on self, cultivating our divinity, cultivating our highest nature. And then we have all the other important events of life, from relationships to our finances, our careers, our social standing, our political state, all of these important things. We need to bring the best out of ourselves to life. And we need to know, how do we set that sail to capture the predominant current, is a way to think about it, as opposed to being pushed back or thrown off course, not because the nature of the energy or the direction of the wind, but because we just don't have our sail set right. So we're here to get our sail set right. Thank you, Uchamachir. That's right. We want to welcome you, first timers. Divine Lord Sekhem, right on. I feel your fire. Peaceful and calm. We need that. That's on YouTube. Gary, let's see. I want to see if we have any other first timers. Nebraska's in the house. Boy, we got to send some energy out to cultivate Nebraska. We got Trenton, New Jersey, of course. Yes, 3 is Sebek's number. Let's see here. All right, great. I think we're ready. So without further ado, I want to bring to the Kamitic Legacy stage a master teacher with over 50 years of experience in meditation and in teaching and guiding meditation, and the person who cracked the code, who removed the veil, who took the mystery out of the mystery system of ancient Egypt. And that's none other than Ra Unnefer. Amen. And we say Anecharak. That's a word of power in the Kamitic language. And it transmits power, peace, and blessings. Anecharak, power, peace, and blessings to you. Amen.
And I return the blessings with Rakatepu, as it is said in Kamit, ancient Egypt. So, my beloved, yes. How are you doing this evening? That's you, Ra. You're always very helpful, helping to lead me proper course in these webinars here. So I appreciate it very much. And to our fellow students and teachers, Rakatepu, peace and blessings to all of you. It makes me very glad to spend this evening with you. Yes. Go ahead. You're about to say something.
We appreciate you once again. And we have a couple of first timers on here. And I know some of you watching this recording is your first time coming across. And, in these days and times, it's so important for us to recognize the importance of our history, our scholars, and our spiritual leaders that have really made an impact. And I just want to share the fact that it's been over 50 years, 52 or so years, that Ra Unnefer has taught. Pretty much, probably 90% of that, or maybe more, every single week has been teaching. So we give thanks that you are here, Shekhem, and interested in hearing about this very important faculty, Sebek, which many of us recognize. He gets into every movie, every presentation on Ancient Kamit. We see this jackal-headed figure, and tonight we're going to get some insight into what that represents and how we can understand its function in our lives. So I'm going to leave you with the stage and get my notebook out and look forward to what you have to share.
Yes, you did a great thing here by speaking about the jackal-headed figure, which we call Sebek, also Ampu, and so on. Because, the canine, the animals in the canine, family, have the great ability to learn many, many, many words, but they do not have the symbolic understanding of words the way humans do. You see that? And that particular problem has crept in to the human psyche, the human mind, where there are a lot of words that we use without understanding the intrinsic meaning, and families that they're associated to, and so on. But I don't want to start off the discourse today on that line. I want to focus on the fact that, we use words, or there's a school of using words as a means to maximize your ability to be successful. Just about everybody wants to succeed in what they're doing. Nobody's going to spend a lot of time and money investing in a particular, project if you don't want to be successful. And seeing the large number of people who do not realize their dreams, did not succeed in the efforts to achieve their goals, there are many schools of, thinking a certain way that will optimize the ability to be successful. But the problem is, as many of you have encountered, many of these, moves, many of these systems, just don't help you to be successful. You say, I'm writing to you, I'm speaking to you as a writer of some over 50 books. You see that? Over 100 compositions in music for meditation and so on, Qigong systems and so on. So I'm not one of these people who read a book on how to be successful. I practiced it, and I want to share these techniques and these teachings with you. Let's begin by by removing one of the major fallacies that are out there. And they said that if you want to be successful, you must understand that the ability to be successful is in the power of words, powers of the mind. And the thing is, that's a half-truth. And in this world, to be successful, you need a full truth, not a half-truth. You see that? So the power to be successful is not in the words that you think or the words that you have in your mind. You see that? The power to be successful, comes by you see, working to create a sense of conviction. Is that in the thoughts that you have about your ability to achieve your goals. For example, if you have a problem with self-esteem, and you are convinced that if you could improve your self-esteem, that you could improve the ability to be successful. And if self-esteem is a big item, in the world of people looking to be successful. So you're told that if you repeat affirmations, I am successful, because I have good self-esteem. If you will repeat that several times, every day, eventually something will happen in your brain, in your psyche, and make you be successful by overcoming the belief, the feeling of lacking in self-esteem. Let us take our time once more again. You're told that if you repeat the affirmation, that you have good self-esteem, so therefore, you will achieve your goal. Repeating the affirmation will remove the poor self-esteem. And that way of teaching, that is repeated throughout the whole scheme of things, where you're told, if you repeat that you are a smart person, that you're courageous, repeat that you are above fear, that you are no longer subject to anger, that you will be successful. Many of you have done this. You went on the internet, you found a lot of, free affirmations to repeat, and you repeat it till your throat ran dry, and you did not achieve your goals. You see that? That when you use words as part of your success strategy, the power for success is not in the words, but how you use the words. Remember what Tunzikamo said a while ago. It's not the wind, but how you set the sail that will enable the boat to take you to where you are heading, for your success. So it's not the word and the words, it's how you use those words. You see that? And to use the words properly, you need to first understand the catalog. You have to catalog the words. You have to find the proper categories for them. You see that? There are some words that represent spiritual laws. There are some words that represent facts. There are some words that represent neither. You see that? And so that when you say, I will be successful because I have good self-esteem, when the reality is that you're repeating this affirmation because your self-esteem is lacking, it's not good. But you believe that if you repeat it often enough, you will create the belief and you will eventually be successful. But if you have failed many times, repeating I am successful because I have good self-esteem flies in the face of your history, which is a lack of success. Then now you will find that there's a part of your mind that will throw up in your face, repeatedly in an automatic manner. You say how many times you have failed, okay, and how many times you have messed up, how many times and in what ways, you did not do well, and so forth. So what happens is that you, as most people, will find that repeating the affirmations that you will succeed because you have good self-esteem is drowned, is overcome, by an ocean, of ideas, words, beliefs telling you that your self-esteem, will never come back because of this mishap, and this failure and the other and so forth, and so on. Meaning that there's a part of your mind called is a source of thought drifts, where thoughts drive in to your awareness uncalled, unauthorized. They just simply flood your awareness, with the nefarious message. So if you want to have the proper results from your affirmations must be based on, laws, words that represent laws of the spirit, laws of nature. Okay? At least on facts. Your beliefs must be anchored in facts. It must be anchored in spiritual laws, principles. So when you repeat the affirmation that you will succeed because you have good self-esteem, look at your person, look at your history. You find that there are no spiritual laws to back it up. There are no facts to back it up. You see that? So eventually that repetition of affirmations will fail. So how do you get out of the quandary? You see that? Okay? You have to recognize the fact that your spirit is made up of 11 faculties. You see that? And once you learn those faculties and you base your affirmations on those faculties, on the affirmations that represent those faculties, then you will find that success will follow you. Let me give you an example here. One part of my spirit is called the Oser, which represents my divine self-image. You see that? If divinity, is a part of your divine, faculty, it means that you can, bolster your self-esteem, by plugging into the fact that you are a divine being. As long as you are, there's a part of your being that's reminding you of your failures You see, therefore you will fail again. That's the human part of being. You see that. But if you remind yourself that you will succeed because you are a divine being, and by nature, divine entities, you see, do not allow themselves to be controlled, you see, by past failures. You see that. And you will find that you just simply will not repeat it. You will do things, you see, you will take certain actions. You will put yourself in certain positions, okay, that represent your ability to be successful. Give you an example. You know, the thought comes to you that you have messed up so many times. How can you be successful now? Smile, laugh at the thought. Laugh of the thought that comes into your mind, telling you that you will fail as you have failed many times before. Laugh, yes, because you are a divine being, and your mind telling you that because you failed many times in the past, you must fail again. You know, that is an illogical statement. You see that? So you laugh at it. When you laugh at these lies against your divinity, your brain will secrete certain neurotransmitters, certain hormones that will generate energy flowing throughout your body. You see that? To empower your ability, you know, to manifest your thoughts. What I'm trying to say to you is that, you know, you have to support your affirmations with energy. When you say, you know, I am successful because I have good self-esteem, that moment has to be flooded with an energy from within you. And you get the energy to flow from within you by smiling and laughing at the words that flow into your awareness, telling you that no, you cannot have self-esteem because you failed so many times in the past. When you say those words, you know, I have good self-esteem, and you don't have a history of good self-esteem, you know, that thought comes to you with a weak energy. That's why you might mask the problem with words like, it seems to me, or I wish, I want, instead of saying, you know, I am in command of my destiny. You see that I am manifesting my dreams. And what's going to happen is, by the power of association, will bring, you see, the thought telling you you're lying, you are not really successful, you have a history of failures. You see, those thoughts will come, you know, into you. It's the monkey mind that assaults people who try to meditate. You see, that monkey mind will throw up in your face your failures. You see that. You can't stop it from coming. You can't stop them from coming. They will just flood you. Your awareness has happened in the past. You see that. But if you do something that will force the flow of energy, such as smiling and laughing at the counter thought, you see that, you will generate the neurotransmitters and the hormones and the chi, the force, that will eventually empower your new affirmations based on the laws and based on facts. Meaning that when you repeat a set of affirmations, when you repeat affirmations, you cannot just simply repeat affirmations. You have to bolster the affirmations up with a source of energy, because energy is what gets the job done, not your belief repetition that comes from repeating something ad nauseum. You have to arouse and generate an energy. And when you smile and when you laugh, you must sign, you must smile and laugh. It's a breathing from the lower abdomen. Just remember that when you smile, don't smile in your face only. When you laugh, do not laugh in your throat. Smile and laugh from the lower abdomen. You see that? The lower, when you smile and laugh, with movement from the lower abdomen, pushing the lower abdomen out on the in-breath, bringing it in on the out-breath, you arouse the largest nerve in your body called the vagus nerve. And you create a flow of energy from the master, vein within you. You see that? Okay? And you might, to make it work even better, before you repeat your affirmation, hum any song. You see that? Because the humming is associated with the mantra Om in the Hindu system and the mantra Ankh in the Kamitic system. You see that? So when you hum or chant the Ankh sound, you see, as you're breathing from the lower abdomen and smiling or laughing, then you flood your affirmation and the image of success with the energy. That chi force is just not simply the energy that heals your body. It's the energy that empowers, fills your affirmation and your images of acting in a successful manner with your life force. I have more to share with you, but I'd like at this point to take some questions from any one of you to make sure that we are moving in the same direction. You see that?
All right. Well, that's a lot of ground that you covered, Shekem Shechem. And starting off with what you shared about convictions versus affirmations, I just want to kind of go over that a little more deeply. So we're all familiar with this idea of affirming, of saying that, I am successful, I am wealthy, I am, healthy. How do we bring that to a conviction? Because as you mentioned, a lot of times those affirmations are met with doubt, with statements that are contrary, automatically come up. Like I might say, I am successful, I am wealthy, and but at the same time, the facts of the matter is my bank account's in a deficit right now.
Yeah, in other words, doubts. Doubts is just not simply a thought. There's an energy there. If you pay close attention, when you're doubting, you have a different energy than when you are convinced that you will succeed. In other words, if I say to you, let's say you're working on something, and I come up to you and I say, you did it. You aced it. A smile, laughter will come to your face, will come to your entire body. You see it? You see? But if I come to you and I say to you, you're not making it, you're not doing well, that energy will not be there. You will be depressed. You see that? Depressed means that your energy is depressed, pushed down. You see that? So the thing is that, you see, when I'm teaching a different way of speaking about your ability, about your efforts to achieve something. Just don't repeat the word in your head, in your mind. Breathe from the lower abdomen. You see that? Smile to generate the neurotransmitters, the dopamine. You follow what I'm saying? The cortex, the hormones, corticosteroids, the cortisols and things of that nature. Okay? So you want to get all of these neurotransmitters, and hormones, working with your breathing, which puts you now in a state of receptivity. It puts your lower, the part of the spirit, that's the lowest part of the spirit, in a state of receptivity to these affirmations. And you will feel the energy. You will recognize that you feel different. You see that? And you will learn to recognize the feeling of doubt, okay? The feeling of negativity when you accept, negative thoughts and so on. Mm-hmm. Okay? So humming is arousing the neurogastric, the vagus nerve, into sending energy into 10 other, nerve centers in your cranium. Are you with me?
Mm-hmm.
What I'm trying to say here is that the school of success that gives you just an affirmation, they don't understand how the mind, body, and psyche and spirit work together to make something happen. All they do is use the mind. You see that? Just the word, just the thought. It's not enough. You see that? Okay. Psychology made the same mistake for several centuries, where psychological events were just simply things that happen in the mind or in the psyche. You see that? In the past 75 years, psychology has come to recognize that things that happen in the mind must be supported by events happening in the psyche and the physical body as well. You see, they're all interconnected. So this is what I'm doing. I'm teaching you how to generate the energy that the mind and the ideas from the mind need to become a reality. You see that? So you have to energize the mind and the psyche, you see, from energy from the spirit and the body to make things happen.
And that would go for people who are plagued with constant negative thoughts or thinking and depressed, and I guess the effect, that relationship with the depressive energy that goes along with that. If that's coming to someone all, multiple times an hour, you're suggesting that we develop this technique of responding to those thoughts with the proper breathing technique and with humming and even smiling.
Yeah, you hum for about 5 minutes, and then you think, visualize your person performing those actions, achieving those results, and so on. Turn the stove on first. Let it the oven, preheat the oven, and then throw the ideas in there, throw the affirmations in there, just as you continue to breathe, deeply from the lower abdomen and so on.
Wow. So we have Adara. Adara is in the webinar room and says, why is it so easy to believe negative things about ourselves, but so hard to believe positive things or affirmations?
That's a very good question. It is so hard to believe negative things because the part of you, the human part of you, and the lower spirit, which is an animal spirit that we inherited, through the results of several million years of evolution, those parts of your mind, brain, and psyche, are inheritance from several millions of years in the past. So they're very powerful. You see that? Okay, in other words, in the human world and the spiritual world, we are working with faculties that are not very long in the evolutionary cycle. So they do not. You have to learn to develop the spiritual faculties, the psychical faculties. You have to work to develop them. You see that? So when I give in, when I'm experiencing anger, fear, worry, grief, all of these emotions, there are millions of years of an animal, past that I have inherited in these belief, patterns. Okay, to smile in the face of a difficulty, the face of a challenge, is something that does not even exist in the animal kingdom that we inherited behavior from, because no animal is equipped with the ability to smile or laugh. Only humans are. So we don't have any evolutionary support, you see, for laughing and smiling in the face of difficulty. So this is a new thing in the evolutionary cycle. And this is something you must understand. And the source for learning these things are in the Ancient Kamitic spiritual system, the Taoist system of ancient China, the Kabbalistical system, and so on. the traditions of the Hopi Indians and African, civilizations and so on. So that is where you have to turn for the sources to educate your psyche and your mind, with behavioral, abilities that are new in the evolutionary cycle. So I hope this is understood and put to work.
So this is very powerful, very different. So you're suggesting that the act of smiling, which we do in reaction to pleasant things or positive things or some other reasons sometimes to diffuse a situation, you're suggesting that this is actually almost like a meditation technique or a technique that we need to learn to just do at will.
It was just not simply meditation techniques. It's a new evolutionary skill that we have to cultivate for ourselves and for the descendants to come. So if you go on the internet and look up, smiling, the effect of smiling, you will find that, the psychologists have discovered that if you smile, whether there's something that you believe requires smiling or laughing, you will find that your brain will secrete, a lot of the neurotransmitters and hormonal chemicals. You see that, like dopamine and so on. When you are filled with dopamine, let's say if I indulge a great deal of, smiling exercises, let's say I just smile and smile and smile and visualize my person smiling, in the midst of this challenge and the other and so forth. Eventually, what's going to happen is that my body will become saturated with dopamine and other neurotransmitters that will empower my will. You see that? So that's something that I have to cultivate. You see, yelling at somebody with anger or sitting in a corner with grief is not something that we need to learn to do. It's part of the evolutionary past. That's why it's so easy to fall into these old patterns, evolutionary patterns of behavior. You see that? The spiritual techniques and abilities are in our present and future. You see, giving into grieving and fear and anger and so forth is our evolutionary past. And you have to learn to put it behind you. If you do not put it behind you, you will not help others to learn. And all we have then is to look forward to more wars, more inhumanity, and so on.
Yes. We definitely need to evolve as a species.
Exactly so. But you see, the thing is up until before the human came into manifestation, into reality, nature was in charge of evolving mankind. You see that? But it got to the point where now mankind has to evolve itself. The ability to be at peace in the midst of challenges and to enjoy being at peace in the midst of difficulties is a new evolutionary thing. You don't see it in any other part in any other kingdom, but in the human kingdom, because it's our present and future, evolutionary reality.
So I think we answered your question, Karan, about affirmations lacking energy and what we need to do. And we have Tanya in our webinar room who says that I've done affirmations many times without progress. And as you explained, it lacks energy. So we are resonating with the message here. We also have Anensa Ankh in the webinar room who says, is it okay to break down the laws into smaller statements when reviewing them in the waking state, such as saying, quote unquote, I hold on to my essential peace and intuit the answer to this question?
Repeat that, how you wrote it. He holds on.
I hold on to my essential peace and intuit the answer to this question.
I wrote a book called Empower Your Manifestations, right? And the other courses I have, the 11 Laws of Health, Wealth, and Success, and so forth. There are tons of affirmation that I give as examples to use, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for me to properly answer this question, I will have to give a little tutorial. It's on the contributions made by the spiritual laws and by the neurotransmitters of the physical body to give power to affirmations. You see that? So the affirmation that the student just presented is lacking in this support, the support from the spiritual laws and the support from the physical, chemicals that supports behavior, let's put it this way, that give power to our affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
And in other words, as a teacher, I would have to correct the student, on improving the affirmation, because as far as I'm concerned, the affirmation that the student has just presented, is lacking in certain important support. You see that, meaning it will not take you where you want to go.
So if you're just joining us, especially for those of you on the first timers, this is the KAMITIC guided meditation series. It's a 3 times a month session. And this is session 1 of the Sebek aspect of our spirit, of our mind, and so on. And we have 2 other sessions coming up. Next week, we'll be doing a meditation to actually put what we're talking about tonight into practice. And then in our 3rd session, we have an opportunity to share with the community, with the meditation community that we are building here, your results and also your questions. So I want to welcome you and let you know that some of the courses that are being referred to, like Ma'at 11 Laws, Empower Your Manifestation, I'll be showing you where you can get more information about that as we go on tonight. And we have on our YouTube channel, we have Lena Catherine. Lena Catherine. I feel I'm not worthy a lot of times. I'm trying to push those thoughts away as to achieve the success that I want to have. So thank you for this advice.
Yes, you cannot push. That's one of the biggest mistakes that people make. Is you cannot use your will to push negative thoughts away. You see that? The same way that you cannot use your will to raise or lower your blood pressure. If your blood pressure is high at this moment, you cannot bring it down by willing for it to go down the way I can will my hand to raise. You see that? But I can use, indirect methods to lower my blood pressure. There's a meditation called Zazen, where you breathe in very slowly and softly, pushing the lower abdomen out to the count of 4. And then you breathe in 4 stages, meaning breathe in a little bit and stop, breathe out a little bit and stop, a little bit more and stop, a little bit more and stop, and repeat the cycle. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, breathe out a little bit more and stop, a little bit more and stop. And we have I think that there's a video or audio that we give away for this technique, don't we?
Yeah, we have it. We have a track on our KAMITIC Stream app where you can get your Zazen. Actually, there's an audio that paces you in the breathing, and there is a pamphlet or a PDF that gives you the detailed instructions.
And when you use this technique, you'll find that your blood pressure will drop. And if you find yourself in a moment where you're feeling, defeated or discouraged or whatever, if you are breathing in according to the Zazen technique, and observe that breathing in, pushing the lower abdomen out, and breathing it out in stages is engaging that vagus nerve that I spoke about earlier. You see that? Yes. So eventually, and then if you visualize your person, achieving the things that you've been failing at, and you keep up with this little meditation here, you'll find that as time, goes on, you'll find yourself changing, your negative behavior to positive one and achieving your goals. You see that? The mind by itself can do nothing. You see that? You're more than just mind. You are spirit, psyche, mind, and physical body. And you must bring all four together. You see that? And as a matter of fact, I have developed a system where all four of them come together: spirit, mind, psyche, and physical body, and so on, to energize your visions, the affirmations of success, of achieving your goals, and so on. They say there's nothing wrong with you. You've just been given some bad instructions. Nothing is wrong with you.
And I just want to give a testimonial to what's being spoken about today. Several decades ago, it's got to be maybe 40, over 30 years ago, someone very close to me had a devastating loss. Let's just leave it at that. And I remember you prescribed Zazen breathing for this person as the first thing to do, to sit down and do about an hour of this breathing technique. And it was so powerful. It was so effective that they were able to process what was happening around them in losing somebody very close to them, and grieve without suffering. Recognize the loss, but be able to not be harmed by it in their health and in their ability to function, and their ability. And that person actually went on to be a point of leadership in consoling and helping and directing the rest of the family. So this Zazen is just one of the many things that we've been blessed to have. And I urge everybody listening to this right now, you can get this track, you can get this understanding, and it's a powerful blessing. I remember one time I was ill and I had a speaking engagement the next day, and I also used Zazen, which you taught us will not replace sleep, but have a major impact on your body's ability to recover. So we could go on with tons of testimonials around each of these components of what's being prescribed tonight.
Yes, and 30 minutes of Zazen, last thing at night, 30 minutes of Zazen will detoxify the body and the mind and the psyche much more than a full night's sleep. Not take the place of the sleep, but the detoxifying functions of the body and the mind will be increased by 30 minutes of Zazen at night.
Yes.
And lower your blood pressure. Of course, you'll have to watch the salt later on and the anger and so forth, but it will make you a whole lot much better person. It will not make you a better person because you're not a person. You are that consciousness that is looking at the person that you've been associated with, teamed up with your avatar, and so on.
Yes.
That's what your person is, one of your avatars, not who you are.
Right. So thank you for that blessing. And again, I know a lot of us out here are being challenged with a great deal of things to be upset about if we're functioning out of our lower nature and our person. And this is one of the things that can really make a powerful difference in your life. We have Uchao Macher in the webinar room who asks, how efficient are subliminal affirmations compared to listening to audible affirmations? There are people who claim that subliminals are more powerful.
In my 50 years of teaching spirituality, right, my advice to all my students is never allow anything, any point of information that you are not aware of, that you do not condone, that you have not examined, to be implanted into your mind. So, subliminal stuff, remove yourself from the source. And eventually, if somebody is sending energies into your mind through subliminal methods. Eventually, it will rise. The message will rise to your awareness, and you will learn through the Heru meditations and Herukahuti meditations to get rid of it. You see that? Part of subliminal indoctrination is what the hypnotists use. You see that they help you to go into trance in techniques that are very similar to meditation techniques. In fact, there's no real categorical differences between going into meditation states through meditation or through hypnotherapy. But the hypnotherapist, uses techniques, tactics to introduce beliefs into your mind without you being aware that it's taking place. That's, in a nutshell, that's the essence of hypnotherapy. But you want to know and be able to understand and control, every bit of symbolism and ideas that are inculcated into your mind and your psyche. You see that you want to remain the captain of your ship and do not allow anybody else to take that over. I know they have these recordings that you turn on and you sleep with them, and as you sleep, they're sending messages into you, But it's just a commercial thing, or somebody trying to get, to build a reputation. But your awareness, your psyche, your mind is one of the most sacred things that you are, and allow nobody to introduce information that you have not condoned.
Thank you for that. Shekim, you also mentioned Heru and Meneb briefly, and tonight we've been given a prescription that when we are dealing with negative thought, to respond with the breathing, to respond with the smile, to respond with the humming. In what role does simply ignoring have to do with this process as well?
Ignoring is once more Ignoring is once more an attempt to use the will to push away the negative. That's not the function of the will. You see that the function of the will is to engage in the vehicles that are created to handle the negatives within you. The function of the will is to visualize a person breathing, for the simple fact that if I breathe, if I visualize my person smiling, and breathe deeply, and visualize my person laughing, or after they're laughing and smiling, will eventually, in the midst of difficulty, will eventually eliminate that difficulty from my life. In other words, here, envision somebody having a difficult experience at a given moment, and the person's laughing and smiling, and they're losing $1 million at that moment, and they're laughing and smiling. You might say, this person is crazy. You see that? No, that person's not crazy. That person is guaranteeing themselves recuperating the $1 million that they lost, and maybe adding an extra $1 million to it. You see that?
Mm-hmm. Okay, we have David King in the webinar room. He says, when faced with negative thoughts and bad circumstances that have built up over time, are there other actions we can take, or some ways to continue to reinforce the identification with our spiritual nature beyond the time that we are meditating or smiling in the face of our created darkness?
Yes, there are other methods such as Qigong exercises, I have several books that you can look at. There's the Qigong RX that goes through the tonification exercises, the healing sounds, and another one deals with the Qigong for elders, okay, which removes stagnation out of the system. So there are all different techniques you can use. You see that, but meditation, is the most important and effective technique along with Qigong. You see that, and to some degree, certain herbs, herbal formulas in Chinese medicine, and so on, can assist. You see, up to a point, because the way Chinese herbal formulas work is by flooding the qi and circulating it through, different, energy channels. Like I said earlier, there's energy that moves, the results that you're looking for, and you can impact those energies as well as through Chinese herbs, through acupuncture and things of that nature. The acupuncture points, for example, that will remove anger, remove fear. You see that. But eventually you want to have, an energy that you have commanded, that you have command over with your mind. You see that? Because you see, your mind, you see that is, your spirit are your ultimate vehicles for, controlling the events in your life. You see that I can give you acupuncture on certain points along your heart meridian, and you will feel joy. For no reason, you feel very joyous. If you maintain it, that joy can be very healing and invigorating and energizing and so on. But eventually you want to be able to manifest that energy of joy through visualization, you see that, and through, meditation, meaning without the use of any other external devices. Because the day might come where it's just you and the challenge, nothing else. A friend of mine said that, people, they have to do warm up before they do martial arts, exercises. And it says that imagine a person walking down a road, and a wolf comes at you. Are you going to say to the wolf, wait a minute, let me warm up first?
Warm up as you're running away.
Well, I don't think you can run as fast as a wolf. So you have to be ready there to deal.
Okay, we have Sandra.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
We have Sandra Phillips in the webinar room. How does our commitment to the one supreme being play a part to being able to connect to our spirit and find that place of peace? How does our commitment to the one supreme being play a part?
Well, in our system, the Kamitic system, you see, the supreme being dwells within you, you see, in a part of the spirit called the Oser. You see that? Speaks to you through a part of the spirit called the Tehute. You see that? And, share its energy for you to achieve your goals through a part of the spirit called Seker. And the supreme being within you, you see, dwells in, 8 other faculties of your being that I just mentioned here. This is spiritual faculties to enable you to live your life as a divine entity. You see that? So your question will be answered by you familiarizing yourself with the divine cosmology, the divine, the division of your spirit. Because your spirit is nothing else but, the housing of the divine being within you. And this has been totally explained beautifully by the ancient Kamitic people. You see that through what they call the Pautna Teru, which is partially explained to the world as the tree of life. So avail yourself of these teachings, and you will find the answer to your question, in practice, just not as an intellectual exercise.
So Sandra and everyone else who's, and perhaps this is a good application of that Sebek faculty, that we all need to have the proper information to study. And I do want to share that we have just released the complete 50th anniversary editions of the 7-volume set called Meduna. I'll share that with you as we close. And not only that, we have several of these volumes now available in an ebook fashion. So you can get instant access and be able to read these on your computer, your Kindle, your reading device. So we have Shechem Tahuti in the webinar who asks, is this smiling the same as the quote unquote inner smile of Taoist masters?
Well, the inner smile is you visualizing a person smiling as you are contracting your lower abdomen. So the smile doesn't show in your face. You see that? But you're smiling, you are engaging your lower abdomen, and you're visualizing a person smiling, because there are situations in which you see it may not be appropriate to smile. For example, you are dealing with a person who is very uncouth and evil, trying to do something negative to you. So you're smiling at your person, you're visualizing a person smiling and breathing deeply as you see the person, being deterred from doing what they, would like to do. This way here, you disarm the evildoer without telescoping what you're doing. You see that? Because the Taoist, master is also a student of the martial arts. You see that? So the energy that the teacher is going to use to deter, you see, the wrongdoer is totally, unseen to anybody what is taking place. Or when the master, is, dealing with a student, you see, who may not have gotten certain teachings, you see, the right, and the master smiles within, not outside, as a way of helping that student. You see that? Okay? Without saying a word. So yes, you in other words, if I am smiling as a visual act, as part of my deep breathing, I'm sending energy. I'm sending energy that will heal you, that will share with you, that I will share with you to heal your person, that I will share with you to open up your chakras to help you achieve your goal. You see that? Without you even knowing that the teacher has taken, those steps. I think I've said too much maybe there.
I was just about to say, if you're just joining us, this is Unnefer, master teacher of meditation, Kamitic spirituality, Qigong, and many other subjects. And we have been given, we've been, as usual, he's just dropping gems tonight as we are challenged to deal with the flood of negativity from the news events, from the negative elements of culture, from the political and social situations that we find ourselves dealing with, from family issues, from health outcomes. He's shared with us these techniques of putting our affirmations in harmony with law, with divine law and fact, and then knowing how to energize them through proper breathing and through smiling and laughing. And now we've just been given the gem of the inner smile. Very good. Thank you for that question from our webinar room. And I just want to see if we can get one more question in before we get some instruction, because as great as this conversation is, there are action steps that we're going to be able to take this week and prepare ourselves for a meditation to empower these ways of dealing with our challenges. So we have Sylvia Wilson, who says, how do we develop the power to eliminate obstructions in our life cycle when we are caught in negative confusion?
Well, yeah, there are programs that exist that I've put together, and other teachers have put together. The programs that you have to find, because these are not things that you can teach yourself. Yes, sir. But there are programs that you can follow, on how to breathe. We call it breath work. The different breathing techniques that you can cultivate. You see that certain yoga done properly will engage the vagus nerve and send energy to different parts of your body and so on. So you have to, engage in these places, find the proper teacher, because a lot of charlatans out there. You see, but you got to get into a system, that has been designed for the past several thousand years to achieve those goals. You see that.
Thank you. So, Sheikh Meshekum, we have a meditation coming up next week, and would you please share with us the application of the KAMITIC guided meditation system that you have developed that uses affirmations, but also uses heka or mantras, words of power, and visualizations and meditation scripts to help us to advance in our spiritual growth?
Well, as one of the students asked a question about, that they said that they were doing affirmations for quite a while, getting no results. And that's because, most people out there that are teaching affirmations as a way out of problems, they are simply engaging one of 4 different faculties, including, in addition to this help from the Supreme Being itself. You see that? So we have put together an entire, system, the answers and systems, things that you do that to recall certain challenging experiences and repurposing, the reflex action to being a positive, trigger, meaning that, for example, whenever I think of something bad that happened in my life, I get a cascade of negative thoughts. I can repurpose that trigger to a cascade of affirmations. You see, but the affirmation cannot be cultivated unless I also, visualize my person living those affirmations. Unless I see my person, in the present, eternal present state, enjoying, the successful realization of those affirmations, and then giving thanks to the Supreme Being. You see that for, enabling me with the ability, to achieve my goals through actions of the spirit. Meaning I have been able, through divine assistance, to go where no thinking can go, where no external action can go. So it's a package altogether. You don't have to, rewrite it yourself and just simply read the instructions, read the menu at a restaurant, follow the instructions, and repeat the system every night, every day. And eventually you will find that you will realize your goals. So, next week, that's what we will be doing. We will meditate our way to arouse, the inner, powers of the mind and the psyche, and then I will guide you, with what you should be doing mentally, meaning that meditation is just not simply actions of sitting still, watching your breath and ignoring extraneous thoughts. Meditation also is ritualistic, where you visualize first of all, you go into the meditation state by chanting certain heka or mantra, and at the same time, you will be, breathing deeply to take yourself into the meditation state. Once there, you will visualize your person recalling a negative experience, that is immediately, shoved aside by you giving energy and thought to positive affirmations, and then visualizing them and visualizing the results you're looking for, and giving thanks to the Supreme Being for your ability to learn these techniques. Because in this world with so many people in it, so less than a handful, relatively speaking, have been exposed to these teachings. So if you are one of those handful, you are truly blessed.
Yes. So once again, if you're new with us on Kamitic Guided Meditation, this session we do on our YouTube channel, we do it on Facebook, we do it in our private webinar room as well. And it is free and available to everyone throughout the world so that you can get a taste of the understanding that we're working with. And then you can choose to join us for the remainder of the cycle by becoming a member of the Kamitic Guided Meditation group. It's $25 a month for 3 sessions with a master teacher, and you also get access to the meditation music, the tracks that have been composed with these words of power that will help you to enter the meditation state and put this knowledge into practice. So there's a site on the screen where you can go and you can learn more about this, and you can also participate in a free Amen session, as well as sign up to join us next week. So any instructions for this week, Shechem, before people join us for the meditation?
No, I just outlined, what will take place next week, So whatever you have on the site that will explain to the students the breathing on the heka, so that when they come next week, they are not totally, alien to what we will be doing.
All right, so we will have a sample there for you to check out. And if you hang on with me after we leave, those of you who are new, I just want to show you some other sources. You can go to KAMITIClegacy.com. Let me put that up now for more information. So on behalf of everyone, I'd like to give thanks to you again, Unnefer, Amen, for another very insightful and powerful night of guidance. Let's put our hands together for Unnefer, Amen, and say Anecharak, power, peace, and blessings. We look forward to this meditation next Thursday at 8 p.m.
To all of you. Power to all of you.
All right, family. So again, I do want to give you a little bit of great news, and that is you can go to KAMITIClegacy.com. KAMITIClegacy.com for the 50th anniversary, the golden anniversary edition of the Medu Neter 7-volume set. Let's check it out. Here you see some of the over 40 books that Unnefer, Amen has written. We have our 50th anniversary edition of Medu Neter Volume 1 is now available in soft cover, and also there is a hardcover edition, as well as the other 7 volumes. There's the Empower Your Meditation that was mentioned. And here we go. There's the hardcover of the Meduniter Volume 1, something that you would definitely want to have in your library and also in your hand to study constantly. It's just an incredible work. And now we have ebooks. So you can get Meduniter Volume 1. Wow, $20. That's pretty good. As an ebook, as well as Ma'at, the 11 Laws of God is now available as an ebook. So go to KAMITIClegacy.com. This is where you can also sign up for some of our courses. You heard about the Ma'at 11 Laws course, which gives you all 11 faculties, mantras, and insight into how to write your meditation scripts, how to use the affirmations that align with divine laws, the 11 faculties of the spirit, as well as the guidance and how to compose your own. So that course is available. That's delivered on our KAMITIC Stream app on your phone, so you can access that information and your meditation tracks anywhere you are in the world. All right, so also, if you are just joining us and orienting yourself to the cycles that we are speaking about, that we're working with every month, you can go to KamitAstrologyCalendar.com and you can get the calendar that shows you the various cycles and how they correspond to the Neteru. So you will know what we are doing every single month. And there's also a KAMITIC meditation journal to help you to properly record your experiences. And you can get both of those at a discount on this site as well. And some of you inquired about connecting with study groups that might be in your area. So let me just put that up for you. We do have here we go, a link tree. So if you go to this address on your screen, linktr.ee/Osarian, you can find the Facebook, the Instagram pages, the websites of the various groups that we have around the country, be you in Atlanta, in New York, in Pennsylvania, in California, in North Carolina, in DC, Virginia, Maryland, or in Florida, or in the Southwest, in New Orleans, and so on. There are groups that you can get information about their local sessions and support as well. And let's see, the last announcement is that we try to have it every year. We missed last year, but this year we are going to have our men's healing event in Philadelphia. We call it the Atefu. That's a KAMITIC word for father, for males. So the Atefu conference is a healing conference for Black men and our sons. It will take place on the Memorial Day weekend, as is our tradition, May 23rd and 24th this year. So you have about 2 months for you to prepare to come out for a 2-day event of meditation, workshops, healing services, Black business, and so on. So we look forward to you planning to take some time and visit with us in Philadelphia for this conference. All right, so once again, if you are not a member of KAMITIC Guided Meditation, you can go to this link and sign up so that you will receive the invitation to next week's meditation. Just go to bit.ly/start KGM. You can also sign up from our KAMITIClegacy.com website and become one of our members. It's $25 a month, and you'll get your 3 sessions per month plus access to our archive. So let's say that you are now reading Medunitaire Volume 1, or maybe you've got your Oracle cards, your Medunitaire Oracle cards, which are available now, and you need to work with Heteru, or you need to work with that Herukahuti aspect of your spirit. You will be able to go back to that cycle and get that information on how to work with that faculty, what the mantra is, how to do the meditation, get your overview lecture or class to give you a deeper understanding of what you're working with and how to implement that into your meditation practice. So I hope to see many of you. I expect, I should say, to see many of you next week at 8 p.m. for our guided meditation for Sebek. Thank you for being with us, Dua'u, and have a blessed night. And tap, peace and blessings.
Welcome to the new Kamit Theater. We've come here today to celebrate our life. Do you know what it is to be an embodied God? Come on, celebrate with us today. Get out that seat, move your body. We love you. Be a soul clap.
How am I living? Am I the God I'm supposed to be?
Yes, you are. Yes, you
are. Whatever challenges me, I keep my center where my ground, but still heart keeps life going round.
I'll reach out my hand, never hesitate to be a friend. I am always forgiving, no complaining and no fear. Incorruptible, indestructible. I am all said, I knew, all said.
No anger, no emotion, no selfishness.
I live to give, so that all of life is blessed. I plant a grain of corn for the child I know will be born. Yet tomorrow.
Of ancestors, King of Kings, I rule the earth. I was sliced
into 14 pieces. 14 pieces.
Love must fill every cup of my rebirth. I'm always forgiving, no complaining.
conditionings that move us centered heart. I sacrifice anger and selfishness and conditionings right now and here. A new minute and knocking minds. Everybody to
that you're a divine being having a human experience. Say it, who goes say it.
And who goes say it.
You know that you are the vehicle through which God expresses himself. Say it, who goes say it.
And who goes say it.
It's your life and say it, who goes say it.
And who goes say it. And who goes say it.